Yes, people, hope you all are doing well. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for those people who have done so already. And if you haven't done so, as I said, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now, I should be more consistent. I put my hands up to it. I did say I'll be more consistent, and I haven't been as consistent as I would like to be. However, I don't think there's a better week to come back into boxing and be consistent than this week. This week is a Riyadh season card week, and it is called the Last Crescendo. This is the rematch with Beterbiev versus Bivol. This is part 2. And the reason why I think this is a brilliant card is because of its undercard. Main events, in my opinion, in their own right. Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith. Zhilei Zhang, Ajit Kabayel, Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Israel Madrimov, Carlos Adames against Hamza Shiraz, Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley. It was supposed to be Floyd Schofield, but it's now Josh Padley, and we know Josh Padley comes to fight. Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, and that's just the undercard, guys. So we are in for an absolute treat this weekend. Now, if you don't think it's the best fight card of all time, please let me know in the channel why you think so. Please let me know a better fight card that there has been, because in my opinion, I think it is. Now, I want to talk about not the main event, which is Beterbiev versus Bivol 2, but I want to talk about a fight card or a fight that I think has had so much talk in the UK, and that's Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. Daniel Dubois, a UK fighter anyway, and Joseph Parker, I would say an adopted Brit, even though he's from New Zealand. That fight has been getting a lot of talk in the build-up to Saturday, and I want to mainly talk about in today's video what Joseph Parker can do to win the fight. That's not to say I'm going to say he's going to win, but I'm saying what he can do. And over the week, I'm going to also put out another video about Daniel Dubois' chances and what he can do to win the fight as well. So let's talk about number one for Joseph Parker, his punching power and his hand speed. Now, Joseph Parker has been known to have good hand speed. That's just been something that's been known in the boxing space. However, with his link up with Andy Lee and George Lockhart, I have to say I've been really impressed by his punching power over the last few fights. And I think the first time I saw that was in 2021 against Derek Chisora. Now, we know Derek Chisora, War Chisora, is not a kind of guy that goes down easily. He's got a good chin. And it's a respectable chin in that sense. And in that fight in 2021 in Manchester, that was a rematch between Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Chisora's counted 3 times. He was counted in the 4th round. He was down once in the 7th and down once in the 8th as well. And the fact that that punching power was there told me straight away, you know what, Joseph Parker's got real respectable punching power. And that's definitely something that he can utilise in this fight on the weekend. And he's going to need to. He's going to need to get Dubois' attention. And I think that's one thing that he can do to try and win this fight. And again, we've seen good hand speed from Joseph Parker over the last few fights as well. Against Zhilei Zhang, where he won on points. Really good hand speed in that fight. Although he went down a couple of times, we did see that his hand speed was there. And against Deontay Wilder as well. Yes, Deontay Wilder is not the same Deontay Wilder as in the past, but we saw that hand speed there, and it caused Deontay Wilder problems all night. So that's the first reason I think that Joseph Parker can definitely capitalize on this fight to try and win it. Number 2 is something around Daniel Dubois this time, and I think it's his poor movement, especially his poor head movement. Now, granted, some will say, well, he's got better under Shane McGuigan, and he's got better under Don Charles, which to some degree I agree with. But again, at the same time, his movement has never been the best. Just a few fights to reel off. Again, the Joe Joyce fight, I always go back to that in 2020. There wasn't any head movement at all. And he had an orbital socket injury off the back of that. And then further down the line, we saw against Kevin Lorena in 2022. And he was knocked down a few times there. Yes, his knee played a part. But however, that's something still to think about. We saw against Hrgovic as well. Those initial first 5 rounds, I was thinking to myself, Dubois, what are you doing? Why are you getting hit so many times? And that's what was happening. And so clearly we can see that there is something that he can improve on there, and that he must improve on there ahead of this fight. And if it hasn't improved with Joseph Parker's hand speed, and Joseph Parker's power, it can really cause a problem for Daniel Dubois in this fight. So that's the second reason why I think that Joseph Parker could potentially win the fight. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk about Joseph Parker's psychology. And also, I'm going to talk about ring IQ. Now, let's talk about the psychology and put everything into context first of all. Now, psychology for Joseph Parker is going to be really strong in this fight. Joseph Parker would know that he's faced fighters who have been good fighters, and at some stage, really good fighters. If you look at his career from since a young age, he's faced really good fighters. Carlos Takam, 2016. Andy Ruiz, 2016. AJ, although he lost that fight in 2018. Dylan White, although he lost that fight in 2018. Derek Chisora twice. Joe Joyce, yes, he lost that fight in 2022. Wilder 2023, he won that. Zhang 2024, he won that. So in the wins and in the losses, he's been able to face these guys, and he knows what it means to sit at the top table. He knows what it means to fight the elite of the elite in the boxing heavyweight division. And that's going to hold him in really good stead, in my opinion, when he's facing Dubois. Now, that's not to say Dubois hasn't fought guys at the top table, because he has. He's faced Usyk, he's faced AJ, for example. He lost against Usyk, he beat AJ. But I think that experience for Joseph Parker is going to hold him in good stead. And I also think as well, from a psychological standpoint, Daniel Dubois' psychology is something that we may need to question. If you saw Usyk Fury 2, after the fight, what happens? Daniel Dubois walks into the ring and says, look, I want to face you next. But haven't you got Joe Joyce to face? Are you forgetting you've got Joe Joyce to face? My question is Daniel Dubois overlooking Joseph Parker? I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying, is he overlooking Joseph Parker? And is he already thinking about facing Usyk? Because I can tell you, if he's overlooking Joseph Parker, he's going to be in for a very, very big shock on Saturday. Because it's not going to be easy when you go in there and you're facing Joseph Parker, who wants to take that title from you. So I think psychology is going to play a really, really big part in this game. How hungry are both men? How much do both people want it? If this is the Dubois that we know, that hungry Dubois that was coming up, the guy that faced Miller, the guy that faced Hrgović, the guy that faced AJ, then we know that, okay, cool, he's going to be in the right frame of mind to go in there and face Joseph Parker and potentially beat him. But if he is overlooking, seldom is it the case that you can overlook a fighter and then go to the fight that you want, because there's always that case that you're going to get beaten. So I think for those three reasons, when I think about it, punching power, hand speed, Dubois' poor movement, and the psychology of both fighters, I think that gives Joseph Parker a really good chance of winning the fight on Saturday. Now, as I said, I'm going to put out another video soon on Daniel Dubois' keys to victory. And as I said, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, guys, peace.